In 1578, with the extension of the church choir, space was created for a crypt, which was chosen to be dedicated to Saint Rocco. Why? First of all, to honor the church of the same name that had been destroyed following the Great Esplanade, but also to follow up on the municipal resolution of 1577, which established the construction of the Great Chapel of San Rocco on the occasion of a particularly concerning outbreak of the plague. According to the thinking of the time, the disease was divine punishment, and therefore could only be cured with prayers and acts of devotion. Saint Rocco, who in life had survived the plague thanks to his faith and God's intervention, was one of the miracle-working saints par excellence, to be invoked in order to be healed. This is why the crypt was so dear to the people of Brescia, who used to visit it especially during epidemics, not least the most famous one of 1630. Its current appearance is the result of work carried out in 1778, when the relics preserved here were inspected. Sante Cataneo, a figure painter originally from Salò, painted in fresco the two co-patrons of the Church of San Giuseppe. The ceiling was also decorated by frescoes by Pietro Ferrari, a painter of architecture and ornaments. The altar, dedicated to St. Rocco, was rebuilt anew in very fine marble from Botticino, in order to house the niche with the sacred remains of St. Ursicino's body, the relic of the martyrs St. Nazaro and St. Celso, and of St. Lawrence, together with one of the coals used to inflict his martyrdom. But what did the crypt originally look like? As luck would have it, travelers' guides were also written in past centuries, and Carboni printed one in Brescia in 1760, which is invaluable for us in gaining information. We thus learn of a stucco ornament with cherubs and putti by the famous sculptor Santo Calegari the Elder and his workshop. It is also likely that the two beautiful reused columns that we can still admire today, on whose capitals the coats of arms of Bishop Giovanni Ducco were added, were already in place. If we leave the crypt and turn towards the chancel, our attention is drawn to the fresco in the lunette above the Holy Arch. Christ, the Pantocrator, that is, the Creator, seated on a throne and judging the world, represented by the city of Brescia depicted all around. Do you recognize the castle and the Torre della Palata? The figure of Jesus is inserted within an oval space, a free reworking of the so-called Vesica Piscis or almond of ancient tradition. In the center, like the kernel of this fruit, Jesus identifies himself as the source of life. The peculiar oval space is the result of the intersection of two circles, each with its center on the circumference of the other, and thus symbolically indicates the intersection of Christ in Christ of two worlds, material and spiritual, divine and human, heavenly and earthly. The latter is represented by Brescia with the castle dominating above. For us today, this is a precious historical documentation of what the city looked like in the 16th century. Finally, look at the raised hand of Jesus. It recalls a particular gesture of blessing adopted by the Holy Roman Church, with three fingers upright to indicate the Trinity. Note the fact that the Orthodox Church had chosen a different position of the fingers, to suggest the acronym of Christ's name in Greek. What may seem to us just nuances today had a very special relevance in the past.